Hello everybody. Niecy Black here. Happy Wednesday. I am so excited. Today is Wednesday, February the 8th, and it has been a beautiful week. I am so excited because the upcoming launch of my new book is quickly approaching and I'm overwhelmed. I'm excited. I'm scared, I'm anxious, I'm all of those things all in one, but it's okay. It's okay. I have to tell myself to just relax, breathe in, exhale, and just let it go. But hey, welcome to Midweek Motivation and Mind Check. I am Niecy Black, your relational strategist, and I'm so excited that you're joining me today. Hey, Eric, how you doing? I'm going to have to check with you to see how you've been doing. I haven't talked to you in a long time. See how retirement is working out for you and your lovely wife, and if everything is going okay. So hey guys, let me know how everything is going in your neck of the woods. How is your week progressing? That's what Midweek Motivation and Mind Check is about, to check our pulse in the middle of the week. Hi Joy, thanks for joining me, sweetheart. I appreciate it. Check your pulse. Make sure that you're still on track with everything you started out the week intending to do. Make sure that you are focused, right? That your goals are still there, that you're still working towards what it is that you said you wanted to do on Monday or on Sunday. Make sure that you're still progressing. And if you're not, what can you do about it to get back on track? If someone's ticked you off, what can you do to let it just roll off your back and continue forward with what you want to do? That's the important thing, is how you're going to adjust and how little time you're going to spend off track. Don't want to stay off track. We want to stay focused and get back on track. So let me tell you what I wanted to kind of share with you guys a little bit about today is that old nasty word, that F word, fear, and how it can show up in some unusual places. And not only that, but how fear can rob us of everything that we want to do, everything that we lay out in our plans, that we want to accomplish, because when we're thinking about it, and it's all up here, right? It's all in our mind, it's all in our thinking, it's even on our vision board. But when it comes to getting it out of our head, getting it off of that vision board and into action, there's a little bit of hesitation that can step in, and a little bit of anxiety that can go along with it. So I just kind of wanted to talk to you about what fear might be costing you in your life, in your business, in your relationships, and what can you do about it. So let's talk about it. It's easy to say, get over fear. I've often said there's life on the other side of fear. All of these wonderful cliches that sound good, but when it comes to where the rubber meets the road, it can be a little cloudy. So when you think about fear, that's some type of neurological impulse of the brain. And I am not a neuroscientist, but I think you should check out one, Coffee with a Neuroscientist. And Miss Shantae Taylor does her regular Facebook lives, and it talks about the brain and how the brain impulses reacts and how we think and how, that type of thing. So follow her, check out her Facebook live. She is a wealth of information. I'm going to do more of that. But she talks about how the brain reacts to stimulus and stimuli and left brain and right brain. And it gets really technical and complicated to me, but I do know that fear, whether it's perceived or not, whether it's real or not, the emotions and how we respond to it and how our body reacts to it, it is real. Those sweaty palms, the hair on your arms, that little knot in your stomach, that's real. That's real, and it's costing us. So I want you to think about 4 things that you can use, that you can do to get an understanding of fear, how it's showing up in your space, and what you can do about it to move on the other side and be in action. So one of the things I want you to think about is whatever space fear shows up for you. And yes, fear is there. Don't tell me you're not afraid of anything, because yes, there is something that you're afraid of. Even if it's getting that phone call in the middle of the night, that's an element of fear. That's an element of something that you're afraid of being told no when there's this big thing you want to do. And and you're not exactly sure how people are going to perceive you. That's an element of fear. So there is something that you're afraid of, whether you want to admit it, whether you don't. But it's subtle, and it's there. Fear of success can be overwhelming because you know there's another level of standard that you have to perform to that success brings. So you could be a little afraid or a little intimidated of that. Being told no, being disappointed, being let down. Oh, and if you got kids, honey, just being afraid of what your kids are going through that we have no control over, because from the time they leave our house, they're 18, they're going off to college, they got their own family. You know, there's an element of fear that you want to try to control, but you can't. So you have to suck it up and allow them to live their life and do their dreams and live out the way they want to live it their way. There's an element of fear that goes with that. So it can come all kinds of ways. So just the first thing is saying yes. Yes, I'm afraid of a little something. Yes, I'm going to call fear what it is. It's being afraid. It's procrastinating. It's putting off what you should be doing now because there's a little worry that's attached to what it is that you need to do. So you put it off. I used to be so analytical and in my own brain, thinking that I am working through it. I'm such a deep thinker that I'm going to analyze this and I'm going to mull it over and I'm going to think about it this way. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to think about it that way. And I'm going to get this opinion here. All I was doing was procrastinating and putting it off because I was afraid of the outcome. I was afraid of, what if I do this thing and I don't get the outcome that I want? So I put it off. I kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and nothing happened. So I was defeating my own purpose and becoming my own roadblock in my head. So one of the first things that I want you to do is to actually face what it is that you are afraid of. Acknowledge that you're afraid of. The second thing is, what is it about this thing that triggers you? What is it about this thing that's got you afraid? Is it somebody's opinion of you? Is it that you put all of your eggs in this one basket and it's got to work, you don't want to fail? Is it that you just don't want to be alone? Is it that you just don't want to be perceived as standoffish? What is it about this thing that you're afraid of? Are you afraid of confrontations? Are you afraid of standing up for yourself, for saying exactly what it is that's on your mind that you want? Are you afraid of something, being left, being rejected, being whatever it is, dismissed even, ignored even? I hate to be ignored. It grinds my gears to be ignored, and I really can't stand that. So I do everything that I can to counteract that and put myself in a position so that I make my needs understood. So acknowledge what it is that you're afraid of. Understand what it is about that fear that triggers you, triggers your emotions, triggers that knot in your stomach, right? Understand why it's triggering you. What effect is it having on you in that moment? And what can you do about it? Is this fear real? Or is this fear a perceived thing? Because sometimes, okay, let me give you an example. 100 years ago, I had this friend of mine, and she came off as a bully. She really was a bully, and there were a lot of people afraid of her. And me, I was a little bit afraid of her, even though we were friends. And we would talk, and we would have, good conversations. And a lot of times I found myself agreeing with her just because I didn't want that confrontation, right? So it came down to a point where she wanted something from me that I was not willing to give. She wanted something from me that I was not willing to give. So I had to stand up for myself, and I was terrified to do that because I'd seen her go off on people before, and I wanted the friendship. I wanted to still be friends, and I did not want to let that go, but I did not want to give up what was dear to me. So I was afraid, but I stood up to her. And I told her, this is why I'm not giving you what you want. This is why, even though I understand that our relationship might not be the same after this, I'm willing to not sacrifice myself for this purpose, this value, and this reason. And we had a falling out. I mean, we didn't come to, blows or anything like that, but we had a falling out of serious proportions. And we were no longer friends after that. And it hurt me because that relationship was no more. But then after I got on the other side of it, I was like, what in the world was I so afraid of? Because we both bleed, we both have needs, we both have wants. And if she really valued the relationship as much as I did, then she would have done what was necessary to respect me and understand where I was coming from. Instead, she was selfish, and it ended the relationship. But it made me think, why was I so willing all of this time that I had been agreeing with her, even though I saw how she treated other people and why was I in such a situation and allowing myself to be friends with her? Knowing that the potential would come down one day where it would be my head on that chopping block, and it would be me against her, and the relationship would have to come to an end. So several years after that incident, we had the chance to speak, and we still didn't end up being friends, but it was an opportunity to say, you know what? I really valued our friendship, and maybe for the wrong reasons. I had to understand that because I thought that being friends with her would protect me in a sense, and people would see me in a different light, and people would respect me because of her. And it was crazy. I had to really analyze what it was about her and what it was about our friendship that made me so comfortable in sacrificing myself. And that was it. I thought that I could get the respect that I deserved by being associated with her. And it was crazy. So I stopped allowing myself to be in those type of situations and not let the fear of losing that relationship prevent me from speaking up. I had to do that. So I had to come to terms with what fear was actually costing me. It was costing me my self-respect. It was costing me my dignity in those situations. It was costing me sleep at night, because you know what I did? I would mull it over and I would be, how come I didn't speak up for myself? How come I didn't say this? I should have said that. And let me tell you something. The days of social media are here, and people would get behind the computer screen and say all kinds of things that they really don't mean face to face. So you can't judge people and be afraid of people based on how they come across on the computer. You cannot allow yourself to be put in situations where you are afraid to speak up, right? So what is fear costing you? Is fear costing you a relationship? Is it costing you sleepless nights? Is it costing you not being able to look at yourself in the mirror? Is fear costing you success that you really want because you are afraid to fail? You're afraid to go out there and go after what you want. Is fear costing you connections? Is fear costing you making that next step to achieve the goals that you desire? So acknowledge that you're afraid of something. Look at that something to see what it is that's triggering you, that's triggering that fear, that's triggering that situation. Look at it and see what it is that you can do about it and face that fear. Acknowledge it. Understand the triggers about it. Understand the why behind it. What is it costing you? And face it. Is it real? Is it perceived? We can make up all kinds of things in this big old mind of ours that aren't real, that are not real. But until you face it, until you acknowledge that it's there, there's nothing you can do about it. You'll continue to perpetuate fear in every situation that you find yourself in that makes you afraid. Until you face it and reconcile that part, things won't change. So will we always be afraid or fearful of something? Yes, But it don't have to stop us. We don't have to give in to it. And yes, I know, I understand that we can read the word and understand the word, and God is not of fear, and God does not give us the element of fear. But we are human. In our human capacity, we feel the emotions and the effects of fear. So we have to do what we can to counter that. That is to understand it, understand why it's triggering us, and deal with it so that we can move on to something else. We can grow in something else. We can set aside the fear because I've conquered that in this area. And I can move on to my next level of success and conquer whatever that next level of fear looks like. Because every time you go higher, there's going to be something different. Every time you stretch yourself in a new capacity, there's going to be a new level of uncertainty that comes with it. So you got to be strong enough and capable enough to recognize when you are fearful, what it's costing you, how you can counteract it by facing it with intentional action, right? That's what it's about. I think that was it. Let me see. I feel really good today. And even as I prepare to launch my new book, I'm afraid. I am. And a little overwhelmed at times. And I'm okay with that because fear is not going to stop me from launching. I'm sorry. There's a little nippy out here. My nose is running. Fear is not going to stop me from launching. Even walking through the process of writing the book, I was afraid. I was afraid of how people would perceive it, whether or not it would create the impact that I wanted to, whether or not it would help that one person that I wanted it to help, whether or not I would have the type of influence that I wanted it to have. There was a level of trepidation and uncertainty about that. And I got over it. I did it in spite of. I wrote in spite of. And even I'm going to say this, even the title of my book, Self-Approved, a guide for authentic and purposeful living, even that title, Self-Approved, when it hit me, I say, you know what? I wonder how people are going to perceive that, right? Because there's so much selfishness in this world. There's so much me. It's going to be all about me. And I want people to cater to me. And I got my hands out. Gimme. There's so much of that already. How is my title, Self-Approved, going to add to that mentality? And I said, well, you know what? Let me just share something. Self-approved is not about me. Self-approved is about you understanding who you are and allowing the beauty of you to come out and to show. And those areas of your self-awareness that you need to hone in on and shape up and tweak and come to terms with and heal from, that's what self-approved is about. Not relying on other people to tell you who you are. Being self-approved is about standing up for yourself in confidence and boldness and being secure with who you are, with how you think and the life you want to live and the journey you want to take. That's what self-approved is about. It is about being aware of the gifts and talents that you bring to the table. Self-approved is about showing grace and mercy to yourself, to not allowing your dreams and your hopes and your vision to be put on the back burner of your life any longer. That's what self-approved is about. I approve of who I am, flaws and all, inside and out. I don't have to war over whether you approve me or not. I don't have to doubt whether or not I'm worthy of living a full and happy life. I don't have to weigh and compare my life with yours or my journey with yours, because I am secure within myself and what I bring to the table. I am creating an impact where I am right now, and I approve of that. I don't need anything outside of myself to validate me, because I approve myself. That's what my title is about. That I have everything that I need already within me to live a life of purpose and authenticity and honesty and integrity, so that I am in a state of being so that I can give and I can do. Not from a place of selfishness, not from a place of gimme, 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 not from a place of what you're going to give me in exchange, not from any of that. Because I believe that we were all brought into this world for a reason, for a purpose. And when we are secure in who we are, then we can serve others, not expecting to get in return, but if it's just a smile, to give it sincerely. As a coach, a speaker, an author, a dentist, a judge, a school teacher, or whatever it is, that you are serving in that capacity, because it is your heart's desire to see someone else's life improved as a result of coming in contact with you, as a result of having coached with you, as a result of laying on your couch, if you're a psychiatrist or psychologist person, or whatever it is, whatever capacity it is that you are serving. Because you are self-approved and secure within yourself, you can serve and give and do openly and honestly, and not just looking for something in return, and not looking for people to approve that, oh my goodness, society says you got to do this, and society says you got to do it just like that. Create your own mark. Create your own standard of beauty. I ain't got to look like you. You ain't got to look like me. Our hair ain't got to be the same. We ain't got to do none of that. We ain't got to compare. Women are notorious. We're always comparing. Oh, dang, her boobs are bigger than mine. So what? You got some boobs, be happy with that, because there's a woman that don't have any, because they're suffering from a disease that has caused hers. So all of this judgment of each other and all of this comparing of each other, and we got to stop all of that. I'm going to be secure in who I am. Flaws and all. That's what self-approved is about. And I'm going to forge my own way in the way that I approve. Can you see my shirt? Can you see my shirt? I don't know if you guys can see my shirt. Self-approved. That's what it's about. So I'm excited about my launch that's coming up, and I would love your support, and not just your support, but your encouragement as well, because we all get a little nervous when we're starting something new and doing some new things. Hey, is that my little brother? Hey, Chris, I love you. That's my little brother, one of my baby brothers. You know, there's 8 of us, and I'm like third from the oldest. So I love you. Thank you for joining me. But yeah, everybody needs love and support and encouragement. It's more important that we lift somebody up, right? That we lift somebody up, that we stop tearing down, and that we build somebody else, because there is somebody that does not even have the capacity to understand how valuable they are. And if you have an opportunity to show them some love, please, God, please do it. Do it, because it makes the world of difference. Start in your home, in your neighborhood, in your community, in your city, in your state, and hopefully that will spread abroad, but one person at a time, and it starts with each and every one of us. That's what self-approved is about. So I don't have time to judge you. I don't have time to compare my life with yours, because I'm approving myself, and I got stuff to do, places to go, people to see, folk to love, and lives to change. That's what I'm about. So if that's what you're about, then connect with me. If not, kick rocks. But I'm moving forward. I thank you for your love and for your support and your encouragement. And I would like to do, maybe, let's see, we've got 7 days until the 14th. When is the 14th? I want to start some type of a challenge, a self-approved challenge and a celebration challenge. What will you approve about yourself? What is it that you might be afraid of that you're going to do anyway? What is it that you don't like about yourself, or you're not happy about yourself, that you want to just go ahead and accept? That's a part of me. And if it's something that you can change, by all means, work on changing it. And it's something that let me think of something. Okay, here's a perfect example. I forever wore my hair in perm. And I recently, well, not recently, I'd say 5 years ago, started transitioning from the perm to my natural hair. I didn't really care for my natural hair. I wanted to have straight hair. But I have transitioned. I'm all natural now. And I am loving my curls just the way they are. Natural, just the way they are. I love the color of my skin just the way that it is, because there was a time in my life where I did not love the color of my skin, and I did not fit in with the dark skinned black girls, and I did not fit in with the really light skinned dark girls, and I did not have a place where I fit. And I was like, dang, sister can't catch a break. Well, I love the skin that I'm in. And I'm happy with who I am. And I'm happy with the journey that I've had. Because if it had not been for this, I might not be going through that. Or, there's just everything is connected. Oh my gosh, everything is so connected. But we've got to each get there. Hey, Stephanie, thanks for joining me, darling. We've got to get to the point that we are happy within ourselves, that we are so secure in who we are that we don't have a problem with lifting somebody else up, because we're not jealous, we're not envious, we're not judging, we're not pointing fingers, and we can love on each other, and it's all good. But we got to get there. That's what it's about. So thank you guys for joining me in my midweek motivation. Good Lord, it's almost 11:30. I usually don't go this long. I was on a tangent, I guess. But yes, share with me over these next 7 days what you approve about yourself. And if it's something you don't like, what can you do to fix it? Right? It's all good. Yes, ma'am, it is all good. So thank you for joining me. And I also shared the link, I want to say, to Stamp with Inspiration. A couple of quotes that come out from the book that's coming out any day now. So thank you guys for joining me, and stay connected. I got some good things coming up. I have some new opportunities that have opened, and woo, I'm just so excited and nervous. Yes, I am. Yes, I'm afraid, and I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. That's what it's about. Moving forward. So I love you guys. Thank you for your love and support, and thank you for your encouragement. And I'll chat with you a little bit later. Have a great day.